Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 9 college football picks for the 2019 college football season. This season is flying by fast, people. But before I continue, hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. Really try and grow this channel. I think we're heading in the right path. So hit that subscriber button if you're not subscribed already. Greatly appreciate if you do that. So if you haven't seen how these videos work, so what I do is pick 20 games each week, straight up and against the spread, and I break up into three categories. The straight up category, which is 10 games, I pick just straight up and against the spread. Then the second category, 5 games. Those are my 5 locks of the week. Those are 5 teams that I think are going to win. I'm pretty confident they're going to win in. And then the last category, I pick 5 upsets each week. For it to be an upset, they have to be at least a 3-point underdog. So going over my records real quick. Overall, I am 99-61 against the spread. I am struggling a little bit, 78-84 in the straight up category. The first 10 games you're gonna see, I went 9-1 last week in that category, pretty good. 60-24, my locks of the week, 26-15, and my upsets, 13-26. I had one very bad week with upsets, and this week wasn't that so hot either. I went 1-4 with Eastern Michigan pulling off that upset against Central Michigan as an 8.5-point underdog. So that's how my picks have went so far this year. I went 12-8 overall, and overall I went 12-8 last week against the spread. I went 8-12. And my locks of the week, I had a bad week, 2-3, and the upsets 1-4. One other quick note: these spread picks are from BetNow.eu. And basically, I locked them in at 10 a.m. this morning. I'm filming this about 1:45 in the afternoon, but I locked these in at like 10 a.m. So that's where the spread picks have come from. So, anyways, let's get into it. 10 games. First game, Wisconsin versus Ohio State. Already did a preview on this game. Go check out that preview. I filmed it yesterday, and it's up on my YouTube channel, so go check it out. But if you already watched that preview, you already know who I have. I do think Ohio State wins, but I don't think they covered 28-24 Ohio State. If you want to see my thoughts, though, on that game, go check out that preview. Next game, Iowa versus Northwestern. Northwestern is a 10-point underdog at home. Iowa's a team, I think they're a top 5 team in the Big Ten. You look at Iowa, I mean, they barely lost to a Penn State team that I think is the second best team in the Big Ten right now. They'll get their crack against Wisconsin, who's the third best team. I mean, you look at Iowa, I mean, they are a pretty good team there in the Big Ten. Northwestern, pretty disappointing season. You're coming off a blowout loss against Ohio State. I went back and forth in this one with the spread. I think Iowa will win it at the end, but I'm going to say Northwestern covers. I don't think Iowa will cover that 10-point spread on the road. This is a road game for Iowa. I think Northwestern, I still think they're at least an average team. They've just really been struggling some this year. I don't really know why. Give me Iowa, though. I'm going to take Iowa in kind of a low-scoring game, 23-16, Iowa. Next game, Ohio versus Ball State. I tried to pick at least one game from each conference. So that's why you're going to see a few games here that might not be picked in on other YouTube channels, but this might be one of them. Ohio versus Ball State, your game of the week in the MAC. Ball State is a 2.5-point favorite at home. I'm going to roll with Ball State. Ball State has been surprisingly pretty good this year. I'm going to roll with them. Ohio is a very good team. It will not surprise me if they come in and beat Ball State, but I'm going to trust Ball State here. They'll win it by a touchdown and kind of a high-scoring game. Give me Ball State 37-30 over Ohio. Next game, Texas versus TCU. TCU is a 1-point underdog at home. This is an interesting game because Texas, their season is basically over for the college football playoffs. They could win out and probably get into a New Year's Six Bowl. This is a tough game because TCU, yes, they have struggled some this year, but they've also looked pretty good in some of their games this year. I went back and forth with this one. I'm going to say, I mean, man, this is really a tough one. I think TCU could definitely pull off the upset. I did pick TCU to pull off the upset in the preseason. This is a really tough one for me. You know what? I did not like how Texas looked at all last week. I think they would make a lot of adjustments, but I'm telling you, TCU. I'm going to pull the trigger and roll with TCU. This is a tough one for me. It will not surprise me if I'm wrong in this one. Give me TCU, though, by a field goal. Let's go 38-35 TCU. I mean, man, that's a tough one. I mean, I would stay away from this game if I was betting it, but give me TCU in the minor upset 38-35. Next game, Oklahoma State versus Iowa State. Iowa State is a 10.5-point favorite at home. Oklahoma State, they're kind of disappointing this year. What I mean by that is that I trusted them twice this year, and they basically screwed me over. So yeah, Oklahoma State is not that high on my good list. But anyways, the games and names. Give me Iowa State to win this game. I think they're going to cover as well. Give me Iowa State to win my 2 touchdowns here. Let's go with 38-24 Iowa State. I think Oklahoma State, they'll have some success on offense, but won't be enough. So now here are the next 5 games. FIU versus Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee's a 2.5-point underdog at home. I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee. I've actually been going with them a lot lately. I'm going to continue that, win or lose. Give me Middle Tennessee in this one. I want to say win this one by 6 points, 27-21 Middle Tennessee. FIU, I mean, they're a decent team, but I mean, it is on the road. It's in Tennessee and Murfreesboro. So give me Middle Tennessee in this one. 27-21. Next game, the big game of the week, Auburn versus LSU. If you want to see my preview on this game, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. It's right there. So most of my thoughts have already been leaked in that video. I went with LSU to win. The spread is 10.5. That means they cover as well, according to my score prediction. Barely 28-17 LSU. I think LSU, I mean, I'm telling you, LSU is the #1 team in the country. I'm just coming out and saying it right now. The only question I have for LSU is how much of a defense, or not how much of a defense, but how much that defense went into decline. I hope it's not a lot for LSU fans, but give me LSU to win 28-17. Next game, South Carolina versus Tennessee. Some people would say this is must-watch television right here. Listen, I went back and forth with this one. I'm going to say South Carolina wins. It sounds like Maurer, the quarterback, he's going to be out, which means they're going to go with Guantanamo Bay. It's a nickname, JT Guacamo, whatever the hell his name is. The quarterback that Jeremy Pruitt pulled his face mask. And by the way, quick note on that. Who cares? Okay, I mean, that stuff happens in practice all the time. But I think South Carolina, they go into Knoxville and beat them. I think South Carolina is actually probably maybe a top 50 team. Tennessee's obviously not a top 50 team. Give me South Carolina in this one. I think they're going to win pretty comfortably as well. They're a 4-point favorite on the road. Give me South Carolina to win this one. Let's go with, I'm going to say 36-19 South Carolina. Next game, Troy versus Georgia State. Sorry about the mistypo there. It should be GEO instead of GOE. I always screw up with a mistype in the videos. My fault. But Georgia State, they are a 1-point favorite at home. They actually beat Army last week. I was kind of surprised by that. Army was one of my locks of the week, and didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Troy's a pretty good team, though. It is in Georgia State. I'm going to say Georgia State needs to prove one more week to me that they're legit. I know they beat Tennessee earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and say Troy wins this game. Give me Troy in this one. It'll be close. It says Troy pulls off the minor upset in this one. Give me Troy. Let's go 30-24 Troy. They win by 6 points. And then the last game, there'll be a preview out on this on Thursday. So I'm going to reserve most of my thoughts for that video. But all I'm going to say about this game really is that Michigan, this is their biggest game of the year right here. I think they come up a bit short. Give me Notre Dame and the minor upset. A lot of minor upsets today. Coming up this week, in my opinion, since Michigan's a 1-point favorite. Give me Notre Dame in this one. I think they win a low-scoring game, 20-17. Notre Dame, I think they win by a field goal. Now, here are my 5 locks of the week right here. First game in the American here, Tulane versus Navy. Navy's a 3.5 point favorite at home. I want to say Navy goes ahead and wins this game and covers. Tulane's a pretty good team, despite what you saw last week against Memphis. I want to say Navy goes ahead and wins this one by a touchdown. Give me Navy in this one, 31-24. Navy's a pretty good team, though. One-loss team. Keep an eye on Navy. Next game, Penn State versus Michigan State. Penn State is a 6.5 point favorite on the road. I know some people are picking this game as an upset. Michigan State, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. They are not that good of a football team. I mean, they lost to Ohio State 34-10. They probably gave Ohio State their toughest battle so far this year. That's all they've really done. They lost to Arizona State, who lost 21-3 to Utah. They lost to, they almost lost to Indiana. I mean, and they're really not blowing out anybody. I expect Penn State to come in here and win this game very comfortably. Give me Penn State in this one, 30-13 over Michigan State. Next game, Duke versus North Carolina, a big rivalry game right here. I'm going to say North Carolina wins and covers. That was an emotional loss last week for North Carolina in 6 overtimes. Duke's coming off a really bad loss against Virginia. North Carolina's coming off emotional loss against Virginia Tech. I'm going to say this game's going to be kind of a weird game, but give me North Carolina on this one. I like North Carolina to win this game. Let's go 24-20. They barely cover North Carolina. They win by 4 points. Utah State versus Air Force. This is one, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not confident about the spread, but I think Air Force, I think they find a way to win this one. They are a pretty good team there in the Mountain West. So is Utah State. This game could be, well, let me take that back. Whoever wins this game, when they play Boise State, even though Air Force already played Boise State and lost, let's say if that game is going to probably determine the Mountain West. So this could be for second in the Mountain West. Give me Air Force to win this one by a touchdown. Let's go 41-34 Air Force. And then my last lock of the week, Washington State versus Oregon. I know Oregon, they have trouble against Washington State. It's been they have like a 4 or 5 game losing streak against Washington State. I think that changes though, big league. Give me Oregon by 3 touchdowns in this one. Let's go with Oregon in this one. I'm going to go actually a bit more than 3 touchdowns, 24 points, 40-16 Oregon as they cover and win this one by 24. My 5 upsets of the week. Here we go. First upset. Yes, I am a Maryland Terps fan. You can say I'm homing all you want. We are being Minnesota. I'm not sold on Minnesota at all. We're going to row that boat into the Chesapeake Bay as far as I'm concerned. And it's going to capsize in the Chesapeake Bay. Maryland wins this game in a closer one, kind of a shootout. 39-37. I'm going with my Terps. I'm riding the ship. If Minnesota wins and they row their boat, fine. But I'm going to say Maryland wins this game, and I guarantee we cover as well. That part I guarantee that we cover. But give me Maryland in this one, 39-37. Next game, Virginia versus Louisville. Actually, Louisville is a 3.5 point underdog. That's my fault right there. Again, another mistype right there. But I think Louisville, they pull off the upset here. The 3.5 point underdogs right there. That's a mistype I made yet again. I don't know why I always mistype something or 2 things on these videos. Louisville's a pretty good team. They beat Wake Forest. Wake Forest, that's the only loss of the season. They look pretty good against Notre Dame despite losing. Clemson, they were in that game for probably a good half, at least the first half, and maybe even a bit into the third quarter there. Give me Louisville in this one. I said they beat Virginia 27-20. Last time Virginia was in Louisville, they did struggle. So, give me Louisville 27-20. Next game, Texas Tech versus Kansas. Give me Kansas in this one. Texas Tech, they are a bit better than what I thought they're going to be, but this game's in Lawrence. Kansas is better than what I thought they're going to be. Kansas will win probably 2 games in the Big 12 this year. For the rest of the season, they'll probably win at least 2 other games in the Big 12. Give me Kansas in this one to win a shootout. Let's go, Kansas 49, Texas Tech 44. Kansas gets the 5-point win and the upset. Central Florida versus Temple. Give me Temple in this one. Listen, Temple 10.5 point favorite. Excuse me, 10.5 point underdog at home. I think Temple's going to win this game outright. I mean, this spread is disrespectful to Temple. Just to let you guys know, give me Temple in this one. 31-27 Temple. They have a pretty good defense. That will be the difference in this game. UCF not completely sold on them. Give me Temple 31-27. And then this last one, I'm not sold on it. I actually did pick this one in the off season, in the preseason rather. I'm going to say UCLA beats Arizona State. They're a 4-point underdog at home. Give me UCLA to win this one. 42-34. I think Arizona State. It's on the road. It's actually UCLA's, I think, homecoming maybe. I have to check on that, but give me UCLA 42-34. So those are my picks of the week. Once again, sorry about the 2 typos, especially the one right in front of you. That's absolutely unacceptable. And those are my week 9 picks of the week. Tell me your week 9 picks. Tell me if there's a game on the slate this upcoming week 9 that I did not pick, but you want my pick for it. I missed a few games that I wanted to pick, but I had to leave them out. Thanks for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that. Thanks for watching. McD the Beast here signing off.